Hello and welcome to Money Mondays. I'm your host, Miss Vihil, Vigil, International Women's Empowerment Business Coach, and I'm super excited to come to you on day 4, talking about debt repayment strategies. We have been talking the last couple of months, and we'll continue to do so until we get through 100 of these. Is all about the top 100 topics for 100 ways to manage, maintain, and grow your financial standing. I am your International Women's Empowerment Business Coach. I work with women on their professional lives and in their personal lives as well as their professional endeavors, building businesses, growing their empires, and And I'm very honored that you are joining me here today. So today we are going to be going over our number 4 topic, which is debt repayment strategies, something that you can just listen to in your car, on your drive home, or into the office in the morning, or if you have time to sit and watch our video here posted on the YouTube channel, then you are more than invited to do so. So let's get in. I'm going to be sharing my screen of the workbook that I always post. You can find it on women'sempowermentcoach.us on our homepage, and you'll be able to see all of. Let's see. I want to try to see if I could get the screen that I'm sharing in addition to what I'm talking to you about. So let's go ahead and start the beginning. And almost there we go. So Money Mondays, you'll find the separate and individual workbooks available to download for free on the website women'sempowermentcoach.us, which is all about the empowerment empire and therapeutic empowerment. So you'll be able to download all of the programs and follow along in the workbook as you are taking the opportunity to listen to the podcast again and again to make sure that you have all of your financial priorities in order. So let's get started with day 4. Already the workbook is posted on the website, so you can go there and quickly download it and take notes. In the last couple of pages of the workbook, there's always a note section, so you can go ahead and you can go ahead and write your notes. If you are catching this video on YouTube and you want to leave some comments, please feel free to do so. And if you have any questions, I can definitely get back to you and answer your questions as well. Okay, so this program is designed to share with you the insights you need to start making better financial decisions for yourself, for your family, for your professional career, for your businesses, and for the sake of building the generational wealth for your family that you have always wanted and that we've always talked about on multiple programs here, is that we are in a generation that may or may not, but most likely not, have been out of a generational wealth built sort of system within our family. So we have taken it upon ourselves to be those change makers, to be those forerunners on building that generational wealth for our families. So let's go scroll down. We'll get there eventually. Lots of pages. Okay, this page really quickly here is just what you need. When you're getting ready to sit down and do the workbooks, make sure you've got a great space for taking notes and for writing and reading and listening. Listen to the podcast in your car, on your way, doing things in line at the grocery store, wherever you may be, and then take another moment to listen to the program when you have an opportunity to have the workbook in front of you so you can make notes in the margins, in the note section, wherever you like, so that you can move forward with your own financial planning and with your own wealth building strategy development. So this is what this is all about, is just to feed you bite-sized information, bite-sized pieces of information that is going to help you make you a more of a financially savvy person. And I like to do this in small little bits. So this one is going to be all about number 4, your debt repayment strategies. I know it's such an interesting topic. I know that so many times we do not really want to listen to these things. So I'm trying to make it short and interesting with some good information. So make sure you print out the workbook, because there are some tables in the workbook that you'll be able to reference when you're considering your own situation and how you might want to be going about repaying your debt strategies. When you do download the workbook, you will get all 100 topics that we are planning to discuss. And if you are a speaker who has a expertise on any of these topics, please reach out to me. We are constantly welcoming new speakers and new guests to the program. So I would love it if you are interested. Please reach out to Vihil, Vihil, at women'sempowermentcoach.us. I want to invite as many women as possible to become more financially powerful. That is the purpose, that is the reason behind the International Women in Business Mastermind, behind the podcast of Money Mondays, behind all of the things that we do in regards to sharing knowledge and insights and business development, growth opportunities and programs, bringing on all of these phenomenal public speakers. It's just one way that we are able to put information out there so that you can continue to grow as well as an individual, as a professional, as a forward-thinking person. So I want to make sure to give you as much information as we can in a fun, timely manner that's not going to be overwhelming. So for day 4 of the program, it's all going to be about debt repayment strategies. Listen to this over and over because it's not going to be glamorous, but it is going to be extremely insightful. So here's a breakdown of debt repayment strategies that you can utilize to take control with confidence. First, a quick note just to kind of premise that on why strategies matter. Well, because random payments can leave you feeling stuck. A smart strategy reduces your interest rate, speeds up your progress, and it gives you psychological wins. It allows your chaos to be turned into clarity by empowering you with a plan and a pathway to achieve that plan. Yes, we can drive around the block for hours and hours on end, or we can bust out our map and have a clear direction on where we're going, what we're going to, when we're going to get there. And so just by having a strategy, by having a plan, makes you feel like you're not just blindly throwing darts at the board. You actually have a bullseye and you're actually going to hit those targets when you define what those targets are. So let's get back. So by turning your chaos into clarity, we are empowering you with a plan and a pathway to achieve that plan, a pathway to achieve wealth development, financial security, and not to be in the dark of your own finances, because so many people are. They like to just kind of shut the book or close the app so they don't see the situation that they are in. They don't see how much or how little money that they have or do not have. Let's start by taking off those blinders. Start by being really willing to look at your true situation so that you know what you need to do to move into that next step. So the following are the 5 most common debt repayment strategies. Number 1, debt snowball and how it works. You pay off the smallest debt first while making minimum payments on the others. The psychological benefits is that it builds momentum by showing progress quickly. It's best for people who need motivation and quick wins. So we love the debt snowball. Number 2, debt avalanche. How it works. You pay off the debt with the highest interest rate first. Your financial benefit is that it saves you the most money in interest in the long term. And the third part, it's best for people focused on maximizing your savings. We'll have a fun graph that you can also take a look at, or a table here shortly down at the end of the program. So number 3, debt consolidation. We're going to be combining multiple debts into one so that you have a lower interest rate. The convenience benefit is that it simplifies your payments and is best for people with good credit who qualify for low interest consolidation options. Number 4 is refinancing, and how it works is it replaces a debt, usually a mortgage or a student loan, with a new one that has a better term, a lower interest rate, perhaps a longer repayment period of time. And let's see. Number 5 is your balance transfer. How it works is that you move from debt from a high interest credit card to one with a lower or a zero introductory period rate. So it gives you a specified amount of time where you can pay this debt off to zero by paying no interest, so that you can either really get caught up on getting that balance taken care of, or you can even quickly pay it off without having to cover any interest on that purchase amount. The savings benefit is that it avoids interest rates temporarily, and it's best for people who can pay off the balance before the promotion ends. So in considering the essential tips to help you succeed, automate payments to stay connected and to stay consistent. Avoid new debt while you're repaying old. Don't go out there and get another credit card, or don't go out there and buy a bunch of other things while you're still committed to paying off your current debt. Avoid new debt while repaying old. So track your progress with budgeting apps or spreadsheets. Be aware it's not a restraint. It's not an inhibiting element. It's you being in charge and empowered by making these financial decisions for yourself, so that you are able to get ahead, to stop feeling held down by your debt, but really empowered by paying it off. So track your progress. Utilize budgeting apps or spreadsheets or notebooks or whatever it is that you need, but use something to really track how you're doing, how you're benefiting, how your balance is getting lower and lower, and your access to additional credit is getting higher and higher. Negotiate interest rates. Sometimes just by calling and asking your creditors about an interest rate negotiation, you can get a lower rate. Say your credit score has recently improved and they're able to give you better terms based on your credit worthiness, which is something that we talked about last episode. And then build an emergency fund, which we also talked about in a previous session, so that surprise expenses are not going to derail your plans. So that if you have a vacation plan, you can still go on it, even if you have a surprise emergency expense that comes up, because you have established an emergency plan to take care of it. So as you'll see in the Money Mondays program, everything is building on each other. So as in the very beginning, we started with building a budget and planning out your plans, to talking about emergency funds, talking about savings accounts, now talking about debt repayment strategies. All of the knowledge that we're providing to you just keeps building on itself, so you become more and more in tune with different wealth building strategies and money saving tactics that you can easily employ into your life. So don't forget, build an emergency fund so that surprise expenses don't derail your debt repayment plan. And the main point here is really stop thinking about budgets and payment plans as a restriction. They are truly a path to freedom, and by taking charge of these processes, you are empowering yourself to get ahead of your current situation. Here is that fun strategy comparison table that I talked to you about earlier. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, make sure you download the workbook so you can take a look at this, or do a quick screenshot so you can zoom in and take a look at this later, and really get clear on what some of the strategies are for debt repayments, and then also some of their pros and cons. I went over a bit of it during the first part of the program, but this is just a great little visual that talks about debt snowball, debt avalanche, debt consolidation, refinancing, and balance transfers, in addition to their pros and cons that go along with each of them. So some bonus considerations just to kind of share with you before we wrap up is credit scores. The high credit score helps with consolidations, with balance transfers, and with refinancing, because you're seen as a more credit-worthy person. We talked about credit scores previously as well. If you haven't seen or listened to the podcast on credit scores, please go back and do so. It's real quick. It's great, insightful information. It'll give you some tips on how to improve yours, and how to always be mindful of what does and does not affect your credit score. Your financial habits. Avalanche is really best for disciplined savers, and Snowball is really great for those who crave motivation. They like the small wins. So what kind of a personality do you have? Are you able to maintain a disciplined plan, or do you really need to see those small but significant wins so you can see how you are improving on a consistent basis? And then, of course, We cannot strive, or we cannot, hit this home anymore, is the emergency fund. Essential before aggressive debt repayment plans prevent new debt if it pops up on surprise. So make sure you're putting something into an emergency fund so that you will be able to have something to kind of land on if an emergency unexpectedly falls into your life. And then remember that the payoff time for each strategy depends on factors like your total debt, your interest rates, your monthly payments, how consistent you are. But as a general idea of how long each could take based on the typical scenario of debt, we have another quick strategy timeline. So debt snowball, typically 1 to 3 years for small debts. Debt avalanche, 2 to 5 years. Debt consolidation, 2 to 7 years. Refinancing varies widely, but it can range from 3 to 30 years. And balance transfers, 6 to 21 months, and perhaps sometimes longer with promotions. Like I said, screenshot this one as well. Take a look at it. You can plan for the next 5 to 7 years of becoming completely debt-free if you create an action plan for doing so. You can see credit score improvement in as little as 6 months if you are sticking to your plan, paying things down, and not acquiring new debt as you're trying to essentially fill this hole that you have already dug for yourself. Debt consolidation is something you must take care of yourself. It is your responsibility. You can do this. It's not crazy. Everybody can do it. It is possible. It is an option. It's something you just have to commit to. And even if it's a little bit at a time, you can absolutely do this. Although you may require some assistance, perhaps from a financial counselor or a financial services company, that is absolutely okay. And just like any type of counseling, the experience, if anything, will provide you with valuable information that will enhance and improve your life. Any insightful and trusted financial knowledge will only serve to enhance your financial understanding. There's always an opportunity to learn something new. So do this for yourself, do this for your family. If you're facing financial challenges, consumer credit counseling services can help you repay all of your debts by constructing a payoff plan for you if you're not feeling equipped to do it yourself. There will also be lots of amazing speakers coming up on the Money Mondays podcast program who are going to be talking all about creating a debt payoff plan. So you can go for it and create one for yourself. Literally, you just need a calendar. This is how much your debt is. Break it up into so many payments, and every week you know you need to pay this dollar amount on this bill consistently until it's paid off. So if you choose to sign up for a program of this sort of type with a credit counseling service, with a credit counseling provider, make sure that you sign up for a program that you've researched, that you've looked into, that you know can really help you to repay your debts, to get the plan developed, to make sure that it's going to fit your particular situation. It's really important that you do your research, that you realize that while you are paying off your debt, there are going to be potential fees and costs associated with using a management firm. So just be well aware upfront of what anything is going to be costing you in addition to helping you pay down your debt. It could be actually, prolonging your success because they might be charging you a particular amount to help you move forward. Okay, so here's a couple more strategy timelines. I think we've already gone through this. Just as a reminder, automate your payments to stay consistent, avoid getting new debt while repaying old, track your progress, negotiate interest rates, build an emergency fund. When you're considering various services, make sure that you're understanding if you're getting additional loans or if the credit credit counseling service is going to be doing negotiation on your behalf. Search for companies that work with certified debt specialists so that they can aid in your understanding of getting rid of your debt and how it's going to be structured. It's critical to look at online reviews from any current or past customers to see specific debt loan consolidation companies and how they may or may not be fitting your particular situation. Do your research. I cannot say that enough. Referrals, check referrals based from trusted sources, such as talk to your financial advisor, talk to friends and family. Let it be known to those in your trusted circle that you care about that you're looking at gaining knowledge on credit building. It's a great opportunity to share that you are interested in wealth building strategies. You'll never know who in your circle of friends is also interested in doing the same, and you can build an awesome group of women who want to sit and have conversations surrounding wealth development and long-term wealth planning. And then, of course, here's our notes pages, so you can take notes. Let me go ahead and stop the share. So I hope this was really helpful to you in discerning what it is that you're going to be doing to structure the repayment of any current debts that you might have. It's a great opportunity to help you take a big picture look at where you currently are and where you want to go in the future. It's never too late to get started on creating a better financial life for yourself, improving your financial standing, and building that generational wealth that we hear about so often, but do not often experience for ourselves. So let's give our families, ourselves, our children, our generations that will follow us an opportunity to do even greater things by helping to build a generational wealth profile for your family. I hope you have really enjoyed this brief insight into the International Women in Business Mastermind podcast, Money Mondays. I am your host, Ms. Vihil Vigil. I look forward to seeing you again next week. If you have any questions, post in the comments. Send me an email to vihil@womensempowermentcoach.us. Go to the website to download your workbook at women's with an S, empowermentcoach.us. Scroll down on the first page and you'll see the first handful of workbooks that you can download. Once we reach the 10th episode, we will start removing those downloads so we can make room for the next 10 topics. So make sure that before we hit topic number 10, that you go and download all of your workbooks so we can make room for topics 11 through 20. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Remember to open your eyes and be aware of what your financial situation looks like, because closing your eyes will definitely not change it. Have a great day, and I'll see you again next time on Money Mondays.